In life, there are very, very rarely life advisors, and for the most part, there are no life advisors. Okay, that transition from being a university student, part time casual worker, to once you get your degree and technically you are an unemployed adult is ruthless. And I think it's something that not a lot of people genuinely comprehend until they're 6 months or 12 months in that exact same position and they start getting pressure from people around them. So my first point here is that school and uni can only get you so far. Okay, so school does a great job at giving you the foundational understanding of a wide range of topics and trying to set you up to get a university degree or a trade. Okay, I do think, although it's a bit of a controversial one nowadays, I do think school is good. I think from a social perspective, it is fantastic, and I think that okay, maybe for some people they didn't teach you relevant things that matter when you're older, like taxes. I still think at the end of the day, school is very, very important because it's giving you a good foundational understanding of all the things that matter in the world from a content perspective or educational perspective. Okay. Same with uni. Uni can only get you so far as well. I know uni in particular is a lot more controversial than school. I think everybody agrees that school gives you a good foundational understanding of things, whereas university, it has a bit more of a controversial reputation. A lot of people think that these degrees are useless and whatnot. Look, at the end of the day, I think once you're at uni, like if you voluntarily go to university to get the degree, the uni isn't the problem. If you feel like your degree was useless, that's on you. I feel like at the end of the day, like you have so many opportunities to transfer, to move, everything like that. And even if your degree is quote unquote useless, there are still many avenues that you can get into based on your part-time work and based on transferable skill sets. So for me, I don't feel like uni is a genuine waste of time for anybody. But again, I can only just speak on my experience. I know everybody's different. But back to my initial point, school and university can only get you so far. Okay. So especially with university, once you've graduated, like you're not going to have recruiters working for you 9 times out of 10. You're not going to have your favorite teachers working for you and trying to get you the best jobs possible. Okay. University can give you the certificate, but apart from that, there's not too much more that is their responsibility. Okay. So this is why it's a big realization, I think, for a lot of people as soon as they're on their own, that you're on your own and you need to make things happen quickly. Okay. Now, in saying that, I think a lot of people, and something I've noticed throughout the whole wide world, not just in Australia, but a lot of university graduates, they've got this degree now and they don't know what to do with it. Okay. And again, you go from that transition of, you're partying, you're in university, you're working 2, 3 times a week. And once that's done, that transition is very, very quickly. And next thing you know, you're genuinely just an unemployed 23-year-old. You were a uni student a couple months ago. Now you're an unemployed 21, 22, 23-year-old. Okay. And you need to make things happen quickly. Now, when you're making these things happen, all I would recommend to you is find the people that matter. Okay. So you need to be reaching out to people, whether that's through LinkedIn, whether that's just through calling people, whether that's through, other networks that you may know of. I think if your university does have networks, I think if they can give you the correct people or organizations to reach out to, take the initiative from there to have those conversations. But you need to be able to work out what is your field of work, what is your end goal, who are the people that matter in your industry, and take initiative to reach out and make connections from there. You guys need to understand that in the job hunting game, a lot of it is just patience. A lot of the conversations you may have right now may not help you get your first job. They may not even help you get your second job, but they will eventually help 9 times out of 10. And even if they don't help you directly, they may know somebody who can help you in 2, 3 jobs time. That's why you need to take the initiative very early and start building connections and having conversations that matter with the people that are relevant to what you want to achieve. Okay. The other thing you need to be doing is taking control fast. Now, I've mentioned this already, but I'm going to relay on the point again. You need to make sure that when you're moving fast, you have to move with purpose. Okay. So obviously, once you're out of university, once you've got the degree and everything like that, you may feel like you don't have any experience. You may feel like you don't have you don't have what it takes to be qualified for some of these jobs. And it's very easy to get discouraged as well, because you're applying for all these jobs and you don't know exactly what you want. Okay, you don't know exactly what you want, and you don't know exactly how to stand out either. So you need to be able to take control fast and move with purpose. So set a daily target of how many proper jobs you want to apply for, how many recruiters you want to speak with, how many hiring managers you want to speak with, how many people who work the jobs that you already that you want to work, you want to speak with, how many people from your university you can maybe speak with. You need to build your own basically pipeline of people that are going to help you get to your end goal, and then move with intention and outline how many people you want to speak to per day. Understand in a week's time who responded, who didn't. Aim to get 1 or 2 follow-ups from that, and keep building with this momentum, because eventually it's all going to add up and it's all going to come through. Okay, I understand, guys, that the job hunt is tough, and I think this whole thing of there's no life advisors there. There's no one there to actually tell you what to do. There's no one there that's actually pointing out to you where to go from here. I think, again, back to my initial point, and that's why I just quickly jumped to that first thing with the life advisors phrase, is because, again, when you're in university and even school, people tell you that, you got to kind of chase your passions and, just be open-minded to all these jobs. I genuinely think you need to find 1 or 2 career paths and lock in on those, because that little narrow field is so much better, because it forces you to focus on a couple of jobs and to find a couple of relevant people and build on that. And I think as well, when you're having these conversations, when you're networking, if you are able to firmly tell them what you want to do and strongly tell them where you want to be, they're more likely to help you, or at least have a conversation with you, in comparison to someone who's going to reach out to these people saying, yeah, look, I'm open to anything. Okay, so it's very, very important that we understand that these life advisors, they don't exist for us. Okay, yes, you've got your family, yes, you've got your friends, but then at the end of the day, they're living their own lives as well. I'm sure your parents, if they're able to help, they will, but you need to understand that you can't be relying on anybody in a job hunt, because at the end of the day, people say things and they don't mean it. The world is very competitive. Everybody is the exact same, and people are busy. So even if someone tells you, yeah, look, I'll have a look at your resume, I'll give you this opportunity, we'll see what happens, there's no guarantee they're going to follow through with that. Okay, so you need to take matters into your own hands. You need to work out what career path you want, and you need to move with pace in that direction. Okay, and be patient with it. Understand that even after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you may get ignored from everybody that you've reached out to, but you need to have that faith that you are doing the right thing, and you need to keep doing the same thing every single day. Change the approach slightly if needed, but understand that core principle of reaching out to people and trying to have conversations outside of just applying for ads on Seek is so much more beneficial than just blindly applying for a couple of job ads and not knowing where you want to be in 5-10 years time. Okay, I hope this video was of value to you guys. It's very important to understand that especially in our early days where we don't have much to rely on for our history, we need to just go out there, create a good impression, and make things happen. Okay, I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, and if you are interested in working with me on a one-to-one level, I have a link below for a free consultation that you can book in with myself. We can learn a little bit more about what you are trying to achieve, and we can work on trying to get towards those goals as quick and as best as possible. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys take care. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.